Hello, and welcome to VOW Voices of Wisdom, the show that might not be for everybody, but everybody needs to watch this show. It is so good being back in the studio. It's been, I don't know, maybe 6 months or more since I've been in the studio, but it feels so great being here, and I'm thankful to LTV and LTV staff for welcoming me back. And before I introduce my guests, I want to give a few quotes. New York Times says, Winston Lyons, chef and owner of Winston's Bar and Grill in East Hampton, makes the rounds in his cozy, rustic dining room, which stands out in an area known for its sleek and airy restaurants. This is East Hampton Star quotes, "Gosh, I love when a restaurant is a pleasant surprise." I'd like to introduce Winston Lyons, chef, owner of Winston Bar and Grill, where everything is IRIE.
Everything is
IRIE.
IRIE.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Really? You're really not a stranger to this area, are you?
No, I'm not. I've been in East Hampton for a long time. 23 years to be fact.
23 years.
Yes.
And what have you been doing all these 23 years?
I've been a chef and sous chef and line cooks for many restaurants in East Hampton over the 23 years. So I'm no stranger to East Hampton. I'm a local, jam local.
A jam local? Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your humble beginnings. You're from Jamaica, yes?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I was actually born and grew up in Jamaica. I have the inspiration to be an engineer, but somehow I get an holiday job into one of the restaurants in Jamaica. And for some reasons, I fall in love with cooking. And from that day, I could never see myself do anything else but cooking and baking.
So what was that your uncle wanted to inspire you to do?
Engineering, electrical engineering. And some reason I like a little bit of work doing that, but wasn't the love of my life. As I said before in my previous statement, that get a holiday job in the summertime in the restaurant, and somehow the smell, the feeling, the intensity of the kitchen, of the chefs and the cooks that was there at the time, I just begin to admire all of that action that was going on. And I was like, okay, wow, this is what I want to do. This is what I like. I like what I see, I like what I smell, and I like what I'm looking at.
So if you mind me asking, how old were you at that time?
At that time, I was 17, just about going to 18 years old, just leaving high school. And my first holiday job back, I was getting in the restaurant. But before that, I had a lot of experience with my grandmother, who was one of my inspiration and my life. She's one that taught me a lot. And somehow I didn't really think that I want to do it. I think it was just a way of being around my grandmother, so you have to cook. So I would actually grow up and see her doing a lot of barbecue, a lot of smoking of food, a lot of seafood, and I like, why you don't just do it this way and we can eat it. And she always said to me that one day you will understand what flavors means. And I was like, you know, flavors are just salt, pepper, just throw it in there, heat it, and we're good. I said, no, there's more to it. And I would like to see her do a brine for pork and for 48 hours, 64 hours, 72 hours, for different pieces of meat that she would brine. And then she would make really a big smoke scale and smoke these meat for hours and days. And I was like, wow. When you smell it, you can smell the smoke like really, really good. You can even eat before it's cooked.
Yeah.
Because that smoke flavor is just, in Jamaica, you got like lots of different spices that, you know, you don't have to even use any artificial spice, just the wood and certain kind of herbs that just already smoke into the meat, just like you can heat. And that is one of the things that I got from my grandmother. And I can do, right now I do a lot of my meats in the same fashion to get the same flavor that I was grown up on. And it's really interesting and fantastic to know that I inherit something from my grandma that is really, really awesome.
Give us a tease of some of the spices that we don't have here that you have in Jamaica.
There is a very famous pepper that we use. We call it in Jamaica Scotch bonnet. Very hot, very flavorful. It has a flavor in there that is awesome. There is a spice that we have here in Jamaica, in the States, in New York or in America, that is the same spice in Jamaica, but the name of it is different. Allspice is one of our capital spice that we use in Jamaica.
Really?
Oh, yes. Allspice used in just a lot of different things and almost everything in Jamaica. But you have to know the quantity and the quality of what you're using for what product or what meat or what different fish are you going to make to use allspice. So with that, we grew up with, there is a famous, we use here in America, saffron. In saffron, we use the natural saffron in Jamaica that we grow on a tree, which in Jamaica we call it anata, which is a very, very flavorful spice. It's just a small little brown seeds that you harvest and then you pre-dry, and then after you're ready for it, you do it just like you do a saffron powder right here in the States. But we use the natural thing. We don't really process it, and that gives you an awesome flavor in your saffron color or in whatever we are doing to make a saffron base.
I recently learned something. Matter of fact, just last night, I always thought that when you make the curry chicken, you use curry. But I understand turmeric is also a good thing to use.
Yeah, because in Jamaica we used, Jamaican used two different type of curry. There is a turmeric and there is a curry powder that made out of turmeric, which is a little bit more processed with more flavor. And with that, if you try the turmeric that you found in the States here and the one in Jamaica, they're completely two different quality, two different flavor, two different tastes. The one in Jamaica has much more of smoky, natural flavor. The one here is a little bit more bitterish, tastes more bitter-like. It's a little more bitter flavor. But the one in Jamaica is much more like with like that allspice, Scotch bonnet, a little hotter. It has that gingery flavor and a flavor that is awesome.
So generally do, like you would grow your grandmother grows,
Yes.
all of that, so you just go out in the garden?
Yeah, you just go out in the garden. We'll see, my grandmother and my granddad was farmers.
Okay.
So a lot of the stuff that we harvest are more from our farm. You know, they grow a lot of pigs, all the live cattle that you would think of, you would get into the store. So my grandfather would sell all of these products to the market for his livelihood because he does that. On the other hand, he would have also the vegetables also that we growed up on and all the spices that grow right out in the farmyard. So we wouldn't buy too much. We were growing a lot of what we eat. And that would give you a kind of strength, a feeling of homemade food.
Right.
And this is one of the things that at my restaurant, I grew up and I like to introduce into my restaurant homemade dishes. I like fine dining. I like fancy style. I like to do it, but I think that homemade is more supernatural, tasty, and feel casual. Feel like you are just at home and ready to dive in.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's the way I wanted to keep the way my restaurant is. Homemade style, handmade stuff, and I love that. Everything that I do is homemade from my traditional growing up.
You know, it's I visited, and it's such a nice, homey place. And you know, I think even the difference of making people the customer first, that whole whole thing has been lost. So, what is your opinion about that whole, making the customer number one and making them feel at home? And what is that?
See, the thing about it is that I say this to a previous show, that the moment you walked into my place at Winston's, you must feel the vibes, you must feel the love. My motto is one love. One love is to one and all. Each person that walks in must feel the same way, whether you come in with a lot of money or no money. You must feel the love, because love is one of the things that I preached about, and we have to always. I grew up with my grandmother teaching me to love each and every one that I meet, and that will take me out into the world. And today I can say to you, because of that loves and that vibes, the thing that you would hear when you walk into Winston is reggae music. And reggae music gives you a vibes, a feelings, energy, culture, spirit. It gives you a lot just for you to feel that flowing, So you want to walk into a place where you feel, oh my God, it's just feel awesome. And this is Winston. And you walked in, the first you're going to be greeted with a smile. You're going to greet with that one love. And you're going to greet with some music, because that is going to make your day feel better. The food is great, but the love is more even better. And that is what you have to start to feel.
Absolutely.
So you got to feel like you're at home. You got to feel like you are in a place that is just cozy and relaxed. Oh, man, I'm at home.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, because everything is IRIE at Winston.
Everything is Irish.
Definitely, everything is IRIE at Winston's. I guess somebody would want to know what IRIE mean.
So
The word
tell us.
IRIE is mean everything is good. Everything is, you see, it's a word from the Rastafarian movements that is come out of Ethiopia. And we use a lot of the Ethiopian slang still in Jamaica, growed up as a part of our culture. And the word IRIE is mean that everything is just good. Everything is blessed. You're blessed to know that if you come in and it feel like I'm having a bad day, there is something is going to make you feel better by leaving. You're going to hear a song, you're going to get a music, you're going to get a greet, you're going to get something that's going to make it feel more IRIE. So if you come in with stress, then you're going to feel IRIE when you leave.
That's right.
And that's the way you got to go.
I remember visiting, I visit Jamaica a lot. And I remember one time I visited and I was with a friend. And before we left, we used to walk because we were trying to get skinny, we're trying to get good, So we got there to Jamaica and we were walking down the street real fast. And it was so hot. And I'll never forget, there's a guy across the street, he says, hey, ladies, slow down. You're in Jamaica now. And it was just so crazy because here we're from New York, we're rushing, and that whole atmosphere gives you that laid back,
Yeah.
slow down.
Slow down.
You're in Jamaica now.
Exactly, because one of the Jamaican motto is that Jamaica no problem, man.
That's right.
And why no problem? Even though you may have your problems, but if you continue thinking about the problem, it's gonna drive you insane. So you gotta just like, you know what? I'm here in the island. Let's just chill and relax and just have it easy. Whatever the problem is, it will work itself out. So we call it Jamaica no problem, man.
That's right.
So no problem is just like you wanted to take that stress moment out. You don't need to be in a rush. You just need to take it easy, take your time going, and just relax, chilling,
And it's
feel the
it's
vibes.
so opposite of New York, because New York is rush.
Rush. Yeah.
And it was so funny because being from New York, coming there, it was almost like, everybody seemed like it was in slow mo,
Exactly.
But the thing that happened, by the time I got back, I never forget, I got back into New York and I was driving home, and I was driving so slow. But I had gotten the vibe,
Yeah.
the slow down vibe.
Yeah, but you see, the thing about it, again, Brenda, is that one of the thing about it is that you have to always realize that one of the thing I remembered many years when I just came here in '93, and I would be like, I was grown up in a way to say, every person you meet in the street, you would say morning, good evening, and grown up in that fashion. And when I came into this country and I said, good morning, it's like everybody looking around and be like, where the hell are you coming from? So it's like,
You had a culture shock.
yeah, that culture, yeah.
Big
So it's
time.
like, oh man, this is not my island, you know. What is this? And I was like, okay, I got to understand that this is not in Jamaica. This is the different vibes here. But you continue to go, you know, you keep on doing it, and you know, in that tradition still in us. And every Jamaican that you meet, they still remember that the first person that you meet, you got to say good morning, because we were grown up that way. And we grown up in a way that was so much strict manners, and you have to follow those rules, because our seniors used to be very, very strict with us, that if we passed and not say good morning, the next day we know when we get home, you know what, did you pass so-and-so, or you did not say, yeah, you're going to be drawn up, so you're going to get grounded for that. So we always make sure that we do that. So this is why it's no problem. You know, everything is always good in Jamaica.
But you know, honestly, that's missing here.
It is. It is
The
missing.
respect and the you know,
Yes.
the morals, all of that is still missing. And I think I was talking to someone about this before. I think if we continue to try to set that pace again and continue to speak and say good morning, I do it on purpose. I'm not from Jamaica, but I do it purposely just to see. Sometime I'm walking down Main Street in Southampton, I'll say good morning. And like you said, sometimes people just look away or they'll look through you.
Yes.
You know, but I'll continue. Sometimes I'll chuckle.
I know.
'Cause it makes me laugh.
I've been to many places in the days. A lot of times I go to the recycling center here, and sometimes the first person that is next to me, I say good morning or good afternoon, and they look around and I say, oh yeah, good afternoon. And it's like you reinforce it, and then they say good afternoon.
Exactly.
And you know, sometimes with the tone and the height I have, I gain a lot of respect from a lot of people, because the voice is a little bit more, you know, muscular. So the people are like, oh yeah.
Plus you're tall guy, big guy.
Yeah, so you know, a lot of people don't want to mess with a big guy. A big guy said good morning, it's got to be
You better
good
say
morning.
good morning.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's one of the story about here. But let's talk back about cooking.
Let's talk about cooking.
You know, I'm still wearing my white shirt.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
cooking is one of my greatest joy to be. It doesn't matter how sad I am. If I feeling sad or feeling stressed and I can go into the kitchen, it's all about fun.
Absolutely.
It's about fun.
Absolutely.
I can use just about anything in the kitchen and to make a meal. And that is one of the things that I would not put myself in a category to say that I'm a Southwestern, I'm an Italian, and I can just make food with anything that I come across. And when I say anything, I just mean anything. And this
It's almost
is why
like being so creative. You have, like, you know, someone could be a painter and an artist or a poet. To me, too, a chef can also be an artist.
an artist, it is.
You
It's an
know?
art. It's a creative art. And it's like this. If you can create something out of nothing, I can go into the pantry or into the refrigeration, and what is in there, I can just grab a couple of things, and okay, I got something in my hand. I can make dinner. I can make lunch. I can make a snack. I can make couch food. I can do something with this. There's something I can do with any little thing. And why? Because my grandmother was that resourceful person. She would use just about anything in the house to make food, because she has to feed 9 kids, 9 grandkids that she has to grow, and I was one of them. And I was always like, can I do this? Can I get a part of this? Can I, you know, always interested to do it. And that is one of the things why food is a passion. It's something I love to do. I do it not just for a job, but I do it because it's my hobby. And I think that I do, and what I do in food, it's bring out the best of me. And that's one of the
You know, you reminded me when I was growing up, too, you know, we didn't have a lot.
Yeah.
And we didn't have 9 kids, but it was 5 of us.
Okay.
And, you know, it was hard times. I'm not going to date myself, but it was quite a long time ago. And I remember Mom just throwing things together and making a nice stew or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And when I got older, I ended up being a single mom, I had those times where, you would throw things together, to make ends meet because I was feeding my kids regardless.
Exactly.
So I think it's part of our culture too. We have that capability of making, I'm not saying not just us, but you have that capability of making, ends meet and using what you have,
And it's really, really worked out. And sometimes the flavor that you get in there is different. And as I say to you earlier, that most of all the dishes that I do, it has to have a flavor. It has to have somewhere that it linger, either on the outside, or the back of your throat, or inside. There must be something that left with something for you to like, wow. There's something that I would love to talk about with you, and one of my signature dish that I enjoy cooking, and it's a crispy fried lobster. That, oh man, I saw that look. Oh man, it's an awesome dish. It's an awesome dish.
I bet.
It's one of the dishes that I created out of love. And I introduced it to some place that I was working before here in East Hampton, and they were like, is it time to do it? And now I do it at Winston's, and it got such an awesome critics by the New York Times and the Newsdays that they was like, it's awesome. It's just a flavor that they have never come across.
I feel like I want to taste it right now. I was like,
I know. Yeah. I spoke with the health department, and when I was opening up Winston's, and we had the interview with the inspector for the health department, and she asked me one of the things that is my signature dish, and I mentioned to her I mentioned to her the crispy fried lobster, and she was like, wow, I've never heard of that. It's like, when I explained to her, she was like, I'm ready for it. But you're not open yet. So just like that, right now for you, I know that it's yummy. And someday, very soon, I'm going to have to make it for you, Brenda.
I have to just come by and check it out.
Oh, yeah, you can
for
come
sure.
by.
After
you can come by Winston's. We have
Yes.
it every day.
And you have the artichoke. I heard
yes.
about that as well.
Yes.
That's
we do
another.
have a grilled artichokes that is really fantastic. And the flavor in it is awesome. I actually selected my artichokes myself. I don't
Really?
just really, no, I actually travel to Bohemia
Really?
to select my own artichokes each week. And for many reasons that I do this is that the quality that you get out here is not the best quality. So when I travel to Bohemia once per week to pick up and select my artichokes, I get a quality that when I bring back to East Hampton, it is a quality when you have it is like, wow, what is it that you put in there? It's just what people ask. But it's awesome.
So what is the expectations now for the future of Winston's?
The expectation for the future for Winston's is that we are open for 5 days per week right now at Winston's, and we are thinking that we are going to be opening up back. We're going to go through the winter. I'm not sure, 100% sure if we are going to open all winter. During the winter time, I'll go into my cooking and orientation at home, like trying to put my recipes and my spices and selection of what I'm doing for the spring, summer coming in. I do that in the winter time, so that I'll take time out to bake, cook, and to try a lot of things that I'm going to be introduced in that I've never been yet introduced into the Hamptons.
You want to give us maybe one? just one thing that maybe you might be introducing in the summer. Just one.
Yeah, actually, I'm coming up with a curry lobster that is going to be served right back into the shell. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a curried lobster that I'm doing. It's spicy curry lobster. And I'm doing that over a roti or over a rice that it's going to be so yummy that you probably want to eat just the shell too after it's
Be crunching on the shell.
crunching on the shell.
Oh my God, because I love chopping on the bones. You know,
I
it's
know,
nothing like stepping
exactly.
on a juicy
So
bone, right?
yeah, I'm doing that. That's one of the dishes that we're coming back with. As I say to you that I love to cook seafood. I was growing up in Jamaica, just across from the ocean. The ocean was like my backyard. I would wake up every day, I look through my back window, and I would see the ocean. So every time I think about cooking, we are thinking about the ocean too, because we have both ocean and farm food. So we're not like running short. You know, I could go down to the ocean, and we could go. It was so easy in those days that we could just go across and just picked up all the shellfood fishes and just take them back across the road, and then we cooked or make a soup, or we could roast them. We could make a fire and roast them and just eat them just like that. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There was days that it was just awesome in Jamaica. And right now, as I said, I loved in Winston's is we are 99% seafood. We are seafood and steakhouse. And for the future, we will have a range of seafood that a lot of people in East Hampton don't take time to do out anymore. One of our awesome appetizers that we have is our conch fritters. That is second to none. Yeah, it's second to none. And I haven't found any in East Hampton yet to come up to the flavor as Winston's.
Well, Winston, this has been a great, great interview.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to interviewing again, maybe with some food
Oh, sure.
atmosphere, so we can smell it and get it in our nostrils and in our throat, like you talked about before.
Well, it's good not just to talk about it, but to cook it.
Absolutely.
So you can taste what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Because I like it, the proof is in the tasting.
Absolutely.
And I like to give that. I don't like just to talk about it. I like to give the proof in the pudding. We just have to taste it.
Winston Bar Grill, with everything is IRIE. So thank you, and I want to thank everyone for seeing this show, and have a good day.
Thank you, Varo, for having me.